Krishna, dear devotees. This is Rasika Preeti Devi Dasi from the beautiful farms of Neelachal Vedic village. So today we are going to look into stories. I know stories are something which are very fascinating, and everybody loves stories. There is no one person who does not love stories, and there is stories really are very impactful. Okay, so whenever I have any challenge with my child, or in general, when other parents approach me with issues that they are facing with their child, the challenges that they want to overcome with their child, or there is a story for everything. Story is a transportable magic. It takes you to a different world, and it simultaneously teaches you and at the same time disassociates you. So it is the perfect therapy. Story is perfect for creating impressions, to teach lessons, to heal people, spark their imagination. So stories should be a part of your everyday life. Okay, so we all love to listen to stories. Who doesn't like a good story? Everything is about stories. Our life is a story. So let's understand how stories impact children, how you should tell stories, and what kind of stories to tell at what age. Okay, so before we proceed, I would like to make this tiny request I do all the time. I love to be encouraged. That's my language of love. I would love to hear from you, so you can express in your language. You can, if you really like this content, please hit that like button. It just takes not even a second of your time. You can do it right now, and please share it with others if you think this is going to help them. I really want to reach out to people because my heart goes out to children. When I see them being mistreated, I just want to do it right. I want to make world a better place, because when we were working, it's difficult to work with adults who have so much of baggage. It's easier to raise children fully equipped and to face difficulties in life. Of course, they are going to have their challenges, but you can do your best that they know how to deal with it. Yeah. So please share it with as many people as you can, and please subscribe to it so that you don't miss any content. And let me know if you have any more ideas. If you have any questions for me, if you want me to talk about a certain topic, anything. It can be anything that you want to talk about, that it may be just personal to you, but you never know, somebody else may benefit from that question. So please feel free to let me know what you want me to talk about. Okay, I'll definitely make sure that I cover it. Thank you so much. Let's move on. So right from the beginning of life, from zero actually, somehow or the other stories work. Now for up till 2-year-old, up till even 3-year-old in some cases, children really don't understand stories as such. You cannot tell them. They'll not make sense of even the simple hare and the tortoise story. Okay, because they don't comprehend language. But the moment they start comprehending language, the moment they start understanding what you're saying, the moment they start understanding full sentences and a little complex language, that is when stories come in the picture. So that is the early age where you should start telling stories to your kids, and once you tell them stories, they're going to ask for more all the time. They'll always ask for stories. So what kind of stories work at what age? Okay, so as the child grows, 0 se leke dhire, the first 3 years generally of a child's life is spent in understanding, So understanding human life, understanding their body, understanding language. They have to learn so much to become human. Just to be a good human being, they have to put in so much of efforts. And it takes a good 3 years, for them to really start acting and behaving and understanding human life, to start understanding, not a complete sense of it. We never get it. But to start understanding human life. And at that age, 3 to 5 especially, and 2.5, say, for in some scenarios. So, it's not a very definite, 3 pe I have to start, wait for the 3rd birthday. No, so if your child has mastered language early, you can start at 2.5, 2 also. But if not, it may even go up till 3.5 to 4. Okay. Now, how to start with stories? Usually, it is a good idea to start with your own stories. How you behave, small kissas from your childhood, small memoirs that you have. When I was a child, once what happened, a dog ran behind me and I was being chased by the dog and I was running like anything and I fell down. So something that is relatable, like say for example they're trying to take a glass of water, and you can say, once when I tried to take a glass of water for me and mama was not there, I put the glass in the pot and I fell down with the pot and the pot broke and there was water everywhere and I got hurt, but I was enjoying it, was so fun. So I don't give them dangerous ideas, but kind of an example. So if they end up being sad about something, you can share how you went through a similar situation, and it's okay. Like, you're just easing it, you're just disassociating them with the feeling that, oh, I'm the only one who cannot get it right. Although they can't express it, although they can't pinpoint it, children get this feeling all the time. Why am I being targeted? Why am I going through this? Why everybody is teasing me? Why everybody is pulling my legs? Or why I can't get it right? Especially children who are a little competitive in nature, they compete with parents also. They want to do things perfectly in the first goal, just like their parents do it. So they don't understand that they need to try again and again to master the skill, writing, reading, or doing any activity, any game. So you don't need to play dumb, okay? You don't need to do things just because you want to meet them at their level all the time. Sometimes if the child is really overly sensitive, you can start by doing things not properly, like improperly, and then gradually move to doing it perfectly. Okay, so after 2-3 tries you can do it. So it will just show them that you are trying and doing it. But otherwise, children, it's important that they connect with you, and in such scenarios, for such difficult behaviors, it's always nice to give them stories. Now 3 to 5, even up till 6, in some cases, this age is an age where the child is in a dream world. Okay, they are not completely in their body. They don't perceive space. Okay, they don't perceive I am different from my mother. Okay, they are different entity. At 3, especially 2.5, 3, you will observe they talk about themselves as third person. They'll tell their name. Kaun khana khayega, they'll not say main khaunga. They will tell their name and say Arjun khayega, ya Madhav khayega, whatever their name. They'll use their name, ya Sita khayegi. They'll never say main khaungi ya main khaunga, I'll eat. They'll always take their name and talk about themselves as third person. So when that comes to I, that's when now they have understood they are a separate person, and their family, the family members, the world is a separate thing. Otherwise, at birth, they feel themselves as a part of the scenery, like merged in it. Okay, no separation, no separate identity. But at 3, it begins. Around 3, it begins. Like they start understanding themselves. So this is the time when they want to understand different individuals. So when they want to understand different individuals, they also want to know what happened to you as a child, what happened to your partner as a child, what happened to the grandparents as a child. They want to know about everybody's childhood. So that is a good story to share. It will also develop connection. You can begin with talking about your childhood. That way you will know that they have started understanding language and to what extent they understand language. Once you get an idea that they have started understanding language, then you can start giving them stories which are like fairy tales. Okay, now when I say fairy tales, it need not always be Cinderella, Snow White. Okay, and I know there is a lot of controversy about the fairy tales, like whether it is important or no. Now I'll tell you one thing. What is a fairy tale? A fairy tale is a story where there is a definite ending. Okay, that is the first point. There is a definite ending, like either, and it will always be either good or a justified ending. It cannot be a grey end. It cannot be a cliffhanger. It cannot be something that you have to perceive or you can derive your own ending. It has to have victory of good over evil. Okay, now this is very important. It is a story of a person who is strong, the main character of the story, and who is in trouble and who overcomes the trouble with the power of good. So it always has to be this way. And this story, if you observe the common fairy tales, it is always placed thousands of years ago, like long time ago, or once upon a time, or far away in a distant land, usually. And it's not, they never specify a name of a country or name of a particular area. Usually they don't even have the name of person, they'll always use the stereotypes. The witch, they'll not have a name for a witch usually. Okay, sometimes they do have, like the main character will have a name, but otherwise there was the prince, there was a princess, and this, that. So sometimes they just use an archetypical image. So what does the story do? They take the child where they are, and they always connect with ancient stories. Children always love to connect with ancient stories. They take the child where they are, and then they usually teach them something. It's always a good ending, and it's very nourishing. The basic samskar is, when you do good, you can always overcome evil. Okay, now again, there is a feminist way of looking at it. Why does the female character has to be saved, damsel in distress? I'm telling you, not every child will connect to it that way. It's our overthinking mind that we want to butcher and experiment everything, but a child does not connect that way. A child will connect to the character it associates with. Sometimes it may be the princess, even the boy, and sometimes it may be the prince for even the girl in, like, who's listening to the story. So it's not really about the feminism of it or the background story of it so much. However, it is a good idea, because it is not to select too fantastical stories. Okay, it would be even better if you could select stories from our shastras which have these qualities. For example, story of Dhruv Maharaj, a perfect example of a fairy tale, wherein Dhruv Maharaj, he had a stepmother, he was rejected, angered, his father didn't stand up for him, and he felt so much anger, so he went through trouble. He went in the forest. It's a fantastical story. It's amazing, and the mother gave a wise solution. Go to the forest, you can pray to meditate on Narayan, and you will get whatever you want. So when he went in the forest, Narad Muni appeared, like the fairy godmother, and then finally, after a lot of tapasya, after a lot of efforts and hard works, alone. Now picture this, we just look at a story as a story, but picture this, when in this story, the child is living alone in the forest. Dhruv is alone in the forest. Dhruv is just 5 years old, alone in a forest full of wild animals, deadly insects and reptiles, so many dangers. What will he eat? What will he do? What will he wear? There'll be cold, there'll be rain, extreme heat. How will the child survive? So this is a story with so much power. And then, finally he achieves the goal, and the goal is Krishna Prem. So we can select stories from Bhagavatam, from Ramayana, which has these qualities. Not Draupadi's story, not Krishna playing with the gopis story at this age, of course. Not Mahabharat stories at this age. Okay, you can select from lives of Arjun, but that also comes at later stage, especially their childhood in Gurukul. Okay, but at this age, your story should only comprise of these elements. How? Prahlad story of Prahlad Maharaj, story of Dhruv Maharaj, these are great examples. The Ramayana stories when they were in Gurukul, and you can even tell the story of Ramayana, the entire thing, where Ramji rescues Sita, but not about the Agni Pariksha yet. Okay, this is not the age for it, because it's grey. Again, it is very grey. Why Ramji rejected Sita Maya? It's all very grey. You need an understanding to take those stories in. Most adults find it difficult to accept. There is so much arguments among non-devotees, like among people who are not thorough with the concept of the Bhagavad. There is so much argument around these elements of stories. So it's important that we select. So at this age, up till 6-7 years, Dhruva story, Ramayana stories, they really work wonders. So that is up till grade 1, you can think, so kindergarten to grade 1. Stories are such a wide topic, so I think we'll have to end here now, and we can take further in the next video. Till then, thank you so much for being with me. Hare Krishna.